what we doing tonight? I'm in the green room. I made a video earlier today and I deleted it because, well, it's shit and I didn't like it. Now, before I get into anything else, this is no pertaining to anything whatsoever. I feel like talking. And since I have nobody to talk to, talking to the camera. Now, you might hear Waylon Jennings in the background. You very well might hear it. There's a certain one of his greatest hit things I used to listen to all the time when I used to drive over the road, and man, I'd crank the volume up loud. I'm talking loud. And but yeah, you know, I was usually a nighttime driver. Now, I mean, I drove all hours of the day, but I enjoyed driving at night, especially going out west, going across I-40 or I-10. Preferably I-10, because that was like the world's longest drag strip. You set cruise control in 80 miles an hour, and you just right up down the road you go. And you know, a lot of times, you had fun. I mean, it was a job. Driving over the road in the 90s was a blast. The best times of my life. That's before the federal government stepped into trucking and screwed all the rules up and all these stupid mandates and everything else. I broke so many federal laws while driving over the road, it was not funny. But I had fun doing it. But anyway, also listening to Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard on the computer, it kind of made me depressed a little bit, because a lot of the people that I knew, that I grew up with, well, they're dead now. And I still got some friends, but not like the ones I had growing up. And, you know, I would say probably conservatively in the past, I don't know, 10 years, I've probably buried 15 of my really close friends from, you know, I mean, some people I knew since I was like 10. And I'm gonna be 50 in May. So, you know, I had some long lifetime friends that are no longer here. And I got nobody really to talk to about certain things. And some of the ones that basically I did some crazy shit with, they were like my backup. So like if I was to say, hey, you know, a long time ago, me and some friends went out and we did this and this and this and this. And if somebody called the bullshit button, I'd be like, okay, Mike, or okay, Jim, or okay, this, or okay, that. And they'd be like, hey, man, you won't believe the shit, but, you know, it's true. You can contact such and such or such law enforcement officer that busted us in the process and let us go. And, you know, yeah, I mean, all that stuff is gone. You know, it's like, you know, I remember it. But other people that were there, a good majority of them are no longer here. So what are you going to do? So this video in some ways is basically, instead of carrying a chip on your shoulder or a grudge against somebody, bury the hatchet, make amends, because you have no idea. You know, you could go to bed tonight and not wake up tomorrow morning. You have no clue. So I'm just throwing this out there, because like I said, I have a lot of friends that are no longer here. Now, a lot of them are not here because of poor life decisions. They drank way too much. They died of cirrhosis of the liver, or they got killed drinking and driving, or no, I'm not gonna knock pot. I am not gonna knock pot, because pot was great when I was growing up. We used to smoke pot all the time, and of course we used to drop acid, you know, things like that. But you know, it wasn't like the crap that's nowadays. Everything's synthetic. Now, a lot of the people now, not all the potheads, and I hate to use the word potheads because it sounds kind of mean, but not all the potheads are into, you know, let's take it to the next levels. Let's take the next levels. The people that go to the next levels are the people that are shallow inside, and they are, I don't want to use the word depressed, but in some ways it's kind of like that. I call it the poor the pity patter me people. Basically, that, you know, they're all the time looking for attention, looking for somebody to feel sorry for them, somebody to lift their spirit up because, you know, they don't want to get up their ass and take care of it for themselves. So they're the ones that go out and say, hey, let's try heroin when we know it's supposed to be bad for you, or let's smoke some meth, knowing that, you know, as soon as you do it, boom, you're hooked for life. But you're like, oh no, I can shake that. I can, you know, I've gone out drinking for weeks and weeks and weeks and came home, quit cold turkey for 3 hours and started back up again. I can shake that, no problem. Just like a good buddy of mine named Greg. I've loved him to death. I treated him better than most of my family. And he came to my house one night, fucking strung out on some shit. And I knew he was on something, but I didn't know what. And I told him, I said, you can stay here, but you gotta promise me one thing. Whatever you're on, you won't bring it to my house again. And he swore, I won't do it no more. I promise, I promise, I promise. He came here one night sober, got fucked up in the process, and I have not talked to him since. I've washed my hands with him. I'm done with him. Yeah, I'm like that. You know, you can say it's cold-hearted in some ways. I'm being a bigot because, or a hypocrite because I just said, you know, make amends and bury the hatchet. See, there's a difference between having a slight argument or miscommunication of words, and, you know, somebody said something, you thought they said this, and you, in your mind, it got twisted, and you got pissed off for a reason, or you got butthurt because somebody told you the truth, and you can't accept the truth, so you get butthurt and blame everybody else but yourself. That's a whole different ballgame. When somebody comes to your house and they're strung out on shit, and you tell them, hey, no, you can't bring this to my house, and they lie to you and do it anyway, that's a different ballgame. Oh, it's a whole different ballgame. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I'm not going to get on him no more. You know, I've talked about him enough. This is more that I've talked about Greg in the past 2 years. I don't care. You know, well, I'm not going to get into it. Nope, I'm not going to get started, because if I do, it's going to ruin my night. And I don't want to ruin my night. I hope y'all had a great Christmas. Mine was kind of, but, you know, it's like that all the time anyway. I'm just thankful every day I'm thankful. My little piggies touch the floor. And, you know, I can have the shittiest day in the world, and as long as my little piggies touch the floor, everything's okay. Now, that's for me. Up here, it's a different ballgame. Because up here, I have all my friends that are no longer here. And, you know, not saying that I'm going to go out and, you know, jump some train tracks like we did when I was, you know, in my 20s and 30s. Because, well, I probably could. It just won't be any fun by yourself. And, now I do have, let's see, I got Puckett, I got Spoonie, I got Road Hazard, T-Roy, Big Josh, Adam, or aka Douchebag, and Montez. And that's about it. I got 7 people. 7 people. And some of them go back 20 years. Some of them go back a little longer. Some of them only go back a few years. But out of everybody I've known, from, you know, say, let's just say from the time I came out of a truck, because when I crashed it and I shut down the interstate, and, you know, and I couldn't drive anymore because I was screwed. I was foo barred, and if you don't know what foo barred is, and I know it's bad, it's fucked up beyond all recognition. That's foo barred, and but a great song came on from Waylon. Oh, it's great. I love it. This is one of the songs I used to crank this song up, have cruise control on in the truck. I would get up out of my chair and I would dance in between the driver's chair, the shifter, and the passenger seat. Just sitting in the thing. I'll stand in the middle of the truck just dancing. Going down the interstate, 80 miles an hour in a tractor trailer. Now, some of y'all are probably thinking, what in the fuck were you thinking? Man, when you're on I-10, 2 lanes here, 2 lanes over there, 890 something plus miles, a straight long strip, what are you gonna run over besides sand? You know, that was it. But when I get in that truck, I just dance in the thing. I'll be sitting there just doing like this, and just by myself in the middle of the truck, just cruising down the interstate, 80 miles an hour, 74,000 plus pounds going down the interstate. Telling you, man, when I was driving the truck, I was an outlaw driver. I did everything. Federal motor carrier, Department of Transportation, and most of your trucking companies did not want you to do. Because I can remember sitting in Oklahoma City, and there's a driver instructor for like HR and the safety division. We don't want no hot dog drivers. We don't want no Smokey and the Bandit so-called drivers. We don't want no outlaw drivers. We don't want this and we don't want that. I just raised my hand up just like this. He looked at me. He said, what? Give me a bus ticket back to Kentucky because you don't want me. And he just laughed and laughed. He thought I was joking. I was being a little comical shit ass. Come to find out, a year and a half later, he was like, dude, what in the fuck? And I was like, well, I told you. Told you in orientation you didn't want me. And you just laughed and said I was full of shit. So, it is what it is. I got off track and don't even remember what I was talking about other than going down I-40 with I-10. Oh, well, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm in the process now. I was going to make some pizza bread for my nephew. He came up from Fort Hood, and one of the main ingredients that I need to make my pizza bread, I bought some not too long ago. Cannot find it anywhere. I had no clue where the hell it's at, and it's really aggravating because, like I said, I bought it less than a month ago. Can't find it nowhere. So I get to go tomorrow and get a container of that. I'll probably buy 2 containers of that. And then let's see, there'll probably be something else I have to get at Sam's Club. So yeah. But yeah, and then I get to come back and I get to finish making that. And then on top of it, I'm making some elderberry jelly. Of course, I'm making small sampler kind of bottles. Nothing too massive, nothing too big. If I got enough left, I'll make a medium-sized container and give it to Amy, just so she can have something to try for sure. Of course, I have to label it as hers. There is a person down in I'm just gonna say Brownsville, Texas, because it's not exactly Brownsville as I was told. And he explained to me the situation, so I'm just going to say Brownsville, Texas, no names mentioned, and that way, even like I told him, there's the chance of the certain other individual watching my video is very slim to none. I said you have a better chance of winning the Texas State Lottery than that jackass watching my videos, but you never know. So anyway, it's going to Brownsville, Texas, and maybe if something else might go down to Alabama, and who knows. But there's things I still got to do that slightly will keep me busy through these cold spells. No, I say cold spells, but it's not cold right now. It's kind of cold at night, but during the daytime it's like 60-something degrees. it felt like a heat wave. You know, this time last week, you know, it was minus 22 degrees with a wind chill of like negative 40, and yeah, it sucked ass. Oh, did it suck ass. But, like I was telling my wife, you know, you think this is bad now? You should be in Canada when I was driving across Canada, you know, when it's like way colder than this. Like what the wind chill feels like here was the actual outside temperature. I said, you ain't got no damn clue. I said, you think this is bad? I said, you know, of course, it was comical because some years ago she goes, being a truck driver isn't hard. All you gotta do is sit in your ass and hold the steering wheel. I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and I told her, I said, I tell you what we'll do. We get our taxes. I said, we'll blow every penny of our tax money on getting you a CDL. And then you can go drive a truck. And then you can tell me how fun it is just to sit there and supposedly hold a steering wheel. And she wouldn't do it. Oh, she wouldn't do it. I ain't gonna drive no truck, you know, blah, 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 and all this other, whatever kind of BS excuse and everything else. And I told her, of course, I went out, because I still had some books at the time. I had my Federal Motor Carrier, my hazmat book. There's another book I used to carry all the time that had like all these different state laws and stuff for type of loads and what you're hauling and size of a truck and trailer and all this kinds of other shit. For California bridge law and all this other shit. And I put the books down and I said, now, you see these books here? She said, I said, you got to read all these books. You have to know basically everything in these damn books. I said, you know, and that's why you have the book. Because in case you think you might know it, you scan the book real quick to make sure you're right or you're wrong. And if you're wrong, you make sure you're right. So that way you don't fuck up and, you know, get into big time trouble while you're just holding the steering wheel, so to say. And I said, then you have to scale your trailer between California bridge and non-California bridge. And then you have to, you know, make sure your weight on your tandems and your drives and your steers are at the so-called weight for each state and whichever area you're going through. Because if they're not, you get pulled off to the scale house and Mr. Scale Master comes out to your truck with a big ass grin because he's taking some of your hard ass money you sat on your ass holding the steering wheel for the past week and a week and a half. And, you know, of course, there's all kinds of other shit. And, you know, of course now, yeah, the whole thing of, well, if the trucking wasn't a hard job, all you do is just sit on your ass and hold a steering wheel, that does not come out no more. And, but yeah. And then, you know, of course, we used to go to Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. They had all kinds of semi-trucks there, customized trucks and everything. And, honestly and truthfully, the reason why I quit going there is it was really fucking torture. Because, you know, here's all these beautiful Freightliners and Peterbilts and KWs and Internationals, and then, you know, they're just sitting there. And of course, you get up inside the truck and stuff. You can sit there, but you can't turn the key over. You can't take off. You can't push in the air brakes or pop them, however you want to call it. You can't put it in gear, and you can't drive down the roadway, and it sucks and it's torture. That is why I want a 6x6, a military 6x6, deuce and a half, 2.5 ton, 5 ton, I don't care, because that is going to be the closest I will ever get back to, like, well, a semi truck. And this is no shit either. A few years ago, and she was serious about it. She actually was considering letting me buy a tandem dump, well, a dump truck, rocket truck. You know, we call them rock haulers. And she really, she didn't really give me the green light, but it was like, it was the yellow light, but it was kind of towards the green light, kind of giving me the thumbs up. And of course, she left the decision up to me. And I came really close to buying it. Not because, you know, I could sit around and, you know, I could drive my truck around, but because I could haul gravel, I could haul dirt, I could make some money on the side. I could have fun like I was a long time ago driving down the interstate, except for I'd be in town local, so to say. But I could use it on the side and making some money. But I didn't do it because I knew when something tore up, I'd have to take it to a shop. And shops will break you as an independent driver. That's why I didn't do it. Now, people are like, oh yeah, you can make money independent. Yeah, you can make money as independent. Really, you can make really good money as an independent driver between 1995 and 2002. Not saying you can't steal, but it's a little bit more tricky. And there's a lot more bullshit red tape involved. And yeah, it is what it is. But my Christmas was mediocre. You know, I did get a couple of things that I was needing. I got a little bit of cash. You know, not gonna complain. I didn't ask for much because I didn't want much, because no matter what I asked for, I would never get it anyway. So why bother asking? And you know, it is what it is. Now, I tried giving out as much as I could. I was limited on funds, and I got my kids basically the needs, a couple of the wants, and that's about it. You know, I'm not going to go out and just buy a bunch of gifts just so they can have something to open up for them to be like, well, that's cool, up to the side it goes, let's open another gift. No, it don't work that way. I don't spoil my kids. I get them what they need, a couple of things what they want, anything in between. I give them the choice that, hey, you know, you can get a little side job, save some money up, and if you want to buy it yourself, there it is. If you want to save your money for later down the road, more power to you. I hope you do, but chances are they blow it. So, no, it is what it is. I don't care. My free glasses. Found these a long time ago in the trash. Somebody threw them away. I can see through them. I mean, they're kids' glasses, but you know, I can see through them. And they're solid plastic, so they fit my bridge a little better. I'm gonna have to go to the doctor. Probably I'm gonna push it as much as I can till after in 2023. Right across here, I have like really bad migraines, and it's kind of bruised somewhat through here. So I'm thinking I might have fractured my skull. I don't know yet. I don't want to say anything, but you know, that's what I'm thinking, because I mean it's like right through here, man. I tell you what, it feels like you're taking a big ass steel wedge and a hammer and you just hit me in the head with it. That's what it feels like sometimes. And of course somebody's like, well, you might have had a concussion. Well, I already knew I had a concussion, because you know, well, that's like when I fell, I knocked myself out laying in the driveway. So I mean, I already knew I had a concussion. And but I went to the store this afternoon / evening, and while coming back from the store, this eye was fine, but in this eye I was seeing like double vision, like, you know, like on your tail lights of vehicles. Instead of seeing, you know, like tail light, I saw tail light and dual tail lights, and that's when I knew something ain't right. So I get to go to the doctor here soon, and I'm not going to do it before New Year's. I'm going to do it after New Year's. So just because, well, I can. And people are like, well, what happens if you go to bed and you don't wake up in the morning? Well, I guess I'm not paying taxes no more, so what are you going to do? And I got people all the time, man, you shouldn't be doing that. You should take your ass to the doctor. You should be doing this and you should be doing that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, just keep giving me that and I'll go to the doctor as much as you want me to. Because when you're on limited this, it's hard to do anything, especially when you blew everything on your kids and your wife and your mom and your stepdad and for Christmas, and you know, yeah, how it is. Of course, some people are like, you don't have to buy me anything, you just give me a card, and you do that, then they bitch and complain. So yeah, it's a never-ending story. But I'm gonna shut up. I have no idea how long I've been sitting here, and I don't want a super long video. And of course, I'm still listening. The wailing in the background sounds great. Every song he sings, truthfully, there's I don't want to say there's a meaning in life from my perspective, but a lot of his music I listened to when I was driving over the road, and whether it be I was driving for CRST, US Express, Covenant Transport, Eck Miller, you know, it is what it is. And some songs bring back memories from before I was driving, like when I was growing up as a teenager, doing mailbox baseball and blowing mailboxes up with quarter sticks of dynamite, and being wild and going out and making Molotov cocktails and just doing crazy shit. Which now, if a kid nowadays was to do a fraction of the shit that I did as growing up, man, they'd be in juvenile delinquent school, or they'd be in federal prison, or they'd be some government watch list because of domestic terrorism activities. But yeah, we were wild growing up as a kid. Then before I get off here, there was a woman named Shelly. I won't say her last name. Junkie that watches my videos, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. And when we used to work at a certain location here in town, me and another guy would walk into this business of location, and she would joke every time. She's like, every time I see you and him walk through the door of my business, the first song that comes to mind is the one from the Dukes of Hazzard, Just a Good Old Boy. And because we were notorious for crazy shit. And I'm going to do one more memory, and I will shut up and turn my camera off. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but if you can, you're so damn lucky. A long time ago, we was in the Walmart parking lot, and we were sitting around bored, drinking a little bit, nothing too major. And now this is before the Walmart in my area put these great big ass pylons in front of the doors. I'm the reason why them pylons are in front of the doors. This is also a long time ago when you could walk in the front doors of Walmart and they had this little box and had a little flip switch, and you could walk up and flip the switch and the doors would stay open. Well, one of the other guys walked in, flipped the switch on the first set of doors, walked through, flipped the switch on the second set of doors, so both sets of doors were wide ass open. Buddy of mine topped the hill in an old Chevy pickup truck, probably about a 78, 79 model pickup. I was sitting inside of a shopping cart in front of his bumper, top the hill, Walmart. Fucking gun that son, she's probably doing about 60, 70 miles an hour, coming down the hill. Lets off the gas, and I'm flying across the parking lot. I go through the first set of doors, it's like whoosh, whoosh. Second set of doors, and there's a huge ass big old box display of like apples and oranges or something like that. I hit that son bitch, bam! That shit looked like a bomb went off. That cart flipped over. I hit the ground. I was sliding across the floor, tumbling over and everything else. It knocked the shit out of me. I was stunned like you would not believe. But I got back up and I somewhat ran out the door. I was kind of like swaying, like, yeah, like that. I went out the door, and man, people just stood there like, what in the fuck is going on? But I'm the reason why there's pillars now in front of both main doors. Because old boy shot me with a shopping cart like a rocket downhill into the store. Redneck times when you're fun and bored, so it is what it is. So I'm going to shut up. Y'all have a great night, and I might see you before the 31st. And if I don't, Happy New Year and more power to you. See you later.